What's up, guys? Michael LaFido, luxury specialist. Today, we're coming to you live with a special podcast slash Zoom live stream. And we got a lot of people that said they can't make it, so they're excited about the recording. And we are so excited to talk about global luxury. You know, luxury is no longer local, although you want to be the local expert, the trusted authority. You know, we wrote a book called Secrets to Top Luxury Agents, and the foreword was written by undercover billionaire Glenn Stearns. And one of the questions I asked Glenn is, Glenn, when you're traveling, when you're buying assets, properties, vacation homes in other parts of the country or the world, what is some of the requirements? What do you look for in a top luxury agent when maybe you don't have the referrals or the recommendations or the resources to find that agent? And he said two things. Number one, can I trust them? And number two, I want to know about their global luxury connections. And so that's what we're going to be focusing on today, is growing your global connections. And Costa Rica, we're going to be talking Costa Rica, and I can't wait to bring on my guests today. Before I bring those guests on, just a reminder, if you guys have a question, literally, you can ask the question. Excuse me. You can ask the question right now as we go in here. I'm going to put it up on the screen. You can literally send me a question during our live stream. But if you are watching this replay, then you just simply send me an email to michael@marketingluxurygroup.com. michael@marketingluxurygroup.com. Literally, I'm putting it on the screen right now. That's the best place to send me an email if you're listening or you're watching a replay. michael@marketingluxurygroup.com. We'll be able to answer all your questions. We're going to share some great resources today as well, where if you're like, hey, this sounds good, I want to find out more about Costa Rica, or I'm interested in maybe visiting there, or better yet, I don't know. Hey, I'm so busy, I can't, but I got referrals. I want to hear about this maybe referral program. We got you covered. We're going to be covering all things. With that being said, I'm going to bring on two guests, but I'm going to bring on one guest first, and then I'm going to have him introduce our second guest. So the first guest I'm going to bring on is a good friend of mine. I've known him probably for 10 years. We see each other at national and global conferences. He's not only somebody that I look to as a leading authority in our industry, one of the most influential people in real estate, period, but he's also a dear friend. So without further ado, I get my good friend, Eric Sachs. Eric, how are you, buddy?
What's up, buddy? It's so nice. Thank you for that introduction. Wow, that was nice. I appreciate it. We have been friends probably for over 10 years.
Probably.
We met speaking on the circuit together. Super fun. I appreciate the time here, and I appreciate the time and your audience. So it's awesome for us to be able to talk Costa Rica today. Some watching may know me as the co-founder of Breakthrough Brokers, so that's how we originally met, and really excited to be talking Costa Rica today. I'll tell my story. First, I'm going to introduce one of my best friends, business partners in Costa Rica, Ian McPherson. Ian and I met like 9 years ago. He's got an amazing story. I'm gonna let him tell a little bit about his story, but he was doing construction and some stuff for Cirque du Soleil in Macau, and visited Costa Rica just once and was like, that's it. I'm selling everything, moving to Costa Rica. We met around the same time. So Ian is my partner in all our luxury construction. He owns a construction company. He's done real estate, luxury real estate at a very high level in Costa Rica for about 9 years. So Ian, welcome, buddy.
Thank you both. Glad to be here.
What's going on, Ian? Thanks for joining us today. And before Ian, we hear all things Costa Rica. You know, Eric is very modest. You notice that was the softest introduction about himself ever. But this guy is a rock star. If you go to any of these national conferences, everybody knows Eric Sachs. And he didn't, Breakthrough Broker. He did a great job of bringing great content to the industry. He worked a lot with different title companies. So Eric didn't do a good job of telling you guys how special he is and how big of a deal he is. So I wanted to make sure before I turn it over to Ian, I make sure I hype you up and give you the proper introduction that you need there, Eric.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, Ian, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Eric.
Yeah, we're so excited to hear about you and Costa Rica. And I've traveled the world. I've been to Dubai and Canada and Mexico and Italy and France and a lot of different things. And Costa Rica is something that, my kids are excited about and we're excited about. And I know I've had a lot of clients. There's a lot of wealth that has bought investment properties or Airbnbs or vacation secondary homes there. And so I'm really excited to share with our audience, those that are watching live. You can type in a comment, no matter if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube or some other platform, or if you have a replay and you're watching or listening to this, you can always email us, Michael at Marketing Luxury Group. So go ahead, Ian, tell us a little bit about yourself, and we want to hear about Costa Rica as well, because I have a list of questions I've been asked. I wrote down that I want to ask you as well.
Perfect. Yeah. So me and my wife relocated to Costa Rica 9 years ago. Before that, as Eric said, we were in Macau, China, and we also lived in mainland China. We transferred to China out of Las Vegas. So we were in Las Vegas. I helped build a lot of the thematic design and fabrication with the casinos, and we also did a lot of high-end homes on the fabrication side. So we manufactured overseas and furnished luxury homes.
Okay.
We specialize in kind of 10 to 30,000 square foot homes in Vegas and in California.
I'm only interested in 31,000 and above.
Right,
So
we got to kick them off.
We can help.
yeah, we're gonna have to.
You're out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we made the jump to Costa Rica, and it kind of ticked all the boxes for us, as it does a lot of other people that are now kind of taking their assets and moving those international. And that's what we want to help and bring to your clientele and your agent's clientele, is how to make that connection easy and smooth for all the people, because it is quite easy. And the one thing that really took us there is true ownership and title. So, a lot of international properties, it's concessions or leaseholds. So with Costa Rica, you actually do truly own title. So we've got a ton of U.S. and Canadian and European investors there. And as Eric said, I do have a luxury construction company as well. So we can find the dirt and build your dream home if we can't find the dream home for you.
I love it. He's modest too. So, but we'll talk a little bit more about the homes he's building. They are unreal. Real quick, I think for anyone watching, just to assimilate Costa Rica to their current business in the States. So I was a broker in Colorado. I had a brokerage in Fort Collins. Like a lot of us, none of us went to high school. That high school aptitude test, it didn't tell us we were going to be residential realtors, right? So I had a past life. Mike, you know what I did. I was a police officer for 13 years. So like 10 years into my law enforcement career, I got my real estate license. It's a long story as to why, but I opened a brokerage. So I had my own brokerage, and I was doing cop work at night. And one day I was on a Saturday morning, I'm showing homes in Fort Collins to a new client, really nice guy, $1 million homes. And he looks at me, he's like, "Are you working tonight, right? Cop work." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, Can I go along with you? And I said, "Sure." So I showed properties during the day, and I picked him up to do a ride along in my police car at night. And I speak Spanish. Don't ask why. I have a degree in Spanish, but I was translating on a DUI, and I got back in the car, and the gentleman looks at me and he's like, "Eric, I didn't know you spoke Spanish." And I was like, "Nope." And he's like, "Well, I haven't really told you how I made all my money." And I said, "Well, I haven't asked." He said, "I'm a developer in Costa Rica, and I need some help translating for a meeting next week. Can you take some time off the police department?" I said, "Sure." So I took time off the police department. I left Nathan, my business partner with the real estate company, and flew to Costa Rica with Rob. I translated on day 1, right when we got there. Day 2, he throws me the keys and says, "This place is yours. Stay as long as you want." So I took another week off of cop work, called Nathan. I'm like, "You got to get down there. This place is amazing, unreal." This is 2005. It was just crazy. So Nathan flew down. We opened a real estate company on the beach, hired an agent from one of the local brokerages that week, and had an idea to market a little differently than some of the agents down there. But what really happened was I came back to the States, and I was so in love with Costa Rica, I started talking about it. And my own network, my sphere of influence, which was a little quiet at the time, perked up. I started emailing in my newsletter about Costa Rica, and I started getting phone calls. And I started, and what it did was having global exposure. And I wasn't a luxury agent per se, right? I was just selling houses, trying to do both cop work and real estate. It got so many people talking. The doctors at dinner, when I'd eat dinner when I was a cop, I'd eat dinner in the emergency room, and all the doctors are talking to me about Costa Rica and Costa Rican real estate and what's it like. And then they buy something from me in Fort Collins because now I'm a realtor. And hey, can you help me? Can you help me on vacation? I want to go see what Costa Rica is like. And then the coup de grace was I'm a big hockey fan. We're at an Avalanche game. The guy sitting next to us is in a flannel shirt and Chucks, Converse. And he's like, can you guys help me get to Costa Rica? I hear you guys talking about it. I want to check it out. We didn't know what he did. Our agent in Costa Rica calls and says, who is this guy? We're looking at $5 million homes. Now, let me tell you what a $5 million home is there. It's about 10,000 square feet beachfront. 5 million. What does 10,000 square feet beachfront get you in California? 40, 50. So, and so he turned out to be some oil tycoon that we didn't even know, but he wanted to take his assets out of oil, out of Colorado, and bring it to Costa Rica. And I think over the years, I forgot personally, growing Breakthrough Broker, how important that was. Now that my wife, Joanna, and Ian and I have started a brokerage in Costa Rica, and I'm still coaching in the States with you and doing all this stuff, I realize that there is an opportunity for any agent to talk Costa Rica, to talk to high net worth people who might want to take their money elsewhere, and just have an educated, intelligent conversation about it. It does so much for your business, both here and there, if they decide to buy. So I have a friend, mutual friend of yours, Randy Toby. Randy and Kelly came to visit us a couple months ago. Kelly took a real estate day and took some videos and took a video of a spec home Ian and I are doing and went home and posted it. She had 22 phone calls. She had phone calls from people that want to go to Costa Rica on vacation, that want to learn more about it. They've had dinner parties about Costa Rica now. So the idea is, let's stimulate our stateside network by talking about something a little different that might give you an advantage over agents in your current market, that might give you someone who's like, oh my gosh, you're my guy or gal. I just didn't know you knew about Costa Rica, and get paid for it, right? Because
and so I want to stop right there, because what Eric just said is the hook, right? That's why part of the reason I brought Eric and Ian on here is we're always looking to differentiate, right? Everybody knows a real estate agent, and as a global luxury real estate agent, you need to be familiar with feeder markets, or just markets that secondary housing or investment properties, Airbnb. And so a lot of people know, Mexico, and they know Italy, or they know Portugal. Well, Costa Rica is one that I'm bringing to our audience because like Eric just said, you're having conversations. It helps position you even more as a global agent, as a leading authority in not just your local market, but from a knowledge base. It's going to open a lot of doors. So I just wanted to reiterate. I think that was a really important point that you made there, Eric.
Yeah, and I end of story. I want to address some questions now, and I think it's important that we address some of the, this. First of all, this is not Puerto Rico; it's Costa Rica. I hear all the time, oh, what a tax haven! It's great for you, and I'm like, no, that's Puerto Rico. It's part of the United States. You can go there and do what you want to do. Costa Rica is situated between Nicaragua and Panama in Central America. It's not an island. It's a sovereign country. It's most well known for probably being the safest of the countries in Central America, with the most stable government and no army. So it's like the Switzerland of the West, of South Central America, and there's some benefits there or not. But I just wanted to set the stage so people mentally knew where we were talking and what
thank you
before we went any further. Sound good?
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Now, Ian, I I call this kind of rapid fire right now, but these are some topics that I know our listeners or most real estate agents should be asking when they're not familiar with an area, because again, we want to be advocates for our clients and look out for them. So if I'm going to refer somebody to Cabo, I'm going to refer somebody to Italy, I'm going to refer somebody down by you guys in Costa Rica, that I know not only are they going to be taken care of, but I understand some of the basics, some of the basics from property taxes to getting a loan, to hey, what's it like with Airbnb or VRBO down there, to new construction, all of the above. So I'm just rapid fire throwing out a couple things that I'd like to talk about as we go forward here.
Sure thing.
So when we first talk about, I'm from Chicago, and we got a lot of money leaving Chicago because of property taxes. So talk to me a little bit about taxes, property taxes. Let's start there down in Costa Rica. What does that look like?
Sure. So that's one of the very attractive things for a lot of the buyers that come and investors, because our property tax is 0.25%. So 0.25%. And that's of the fiscal value. That's not necessarily the purchase price. It's what the registered value is in the fiscal registro. So they passed new law, and in the registro, you have to renew it every 5 years to bring it up to date, but you're 0.25%. There is a process and appraisal that goes through for what they call a luxury tax. So a luxury tax is a home that there's a lot of scenarios, and there's specialists that go out and they'll do the appraisal for you to see if you actually qualify for that. And if you do qualify for that, it's still only 0.5%.
Right. 0.5%.
So that's a huge turn on for a lot of people coming down, because they're like, you're kidding me. I bought this place and my property tax is, $1,200. Not in the tens and 20,000s.
Yeah.
We just paid $12,000 here in the States in Colorado for 1 year.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Yeah, here in the Chicagoland market, you're anywhere from 2 to 3%. So on $1 million home, you're paying $30,000, right? $1 million home down there, you're paying $2,500.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. No, that's great. So property taxes are amazing there. Talk to me about from an investment side of things. If somebody's looking down there, they'd like to purchase something, maybe move some assets around for diversification standpoint, but realize, hey, I'm only going to get down there, 2 prime weeks, in the winter and 1 for spring break, and maybe in the summer a little bit. What can they do with this asset in the meantime?
So a lot of our investors that come down, they are Airbnb-ing the properties, VRBO, what used to be HomeAway, but a lot of people are driving through either Booking.com or Airbnb, and that would be an allotment of homes that are doing that, and a lot of people are coming down just to pay for the home. Other people are a little more aggressive and they really want to rent the home out, and we have all ranges of price points. So someone could have a condo that's renting for $200 a night, and then we got luxury homes that go for $5,000 a night. So you really do have that range, and that is an important question depending on who the investors are. If they're looking at it for an ROI standpoint, we can run numbers on the properties currently existing and the home that they're interested in, what kind of numbers those are hitting. We have a hotel right now that has an opportunity for expansion it's just coming to market with one of our agents, and that one's running around a 12% ROI currently. So there's some really good numbers to be able to do down here. Another thing is, as you said about assets, one beautiful thing about Costa Rica too is with an investment in Costa Rica of 150,000 USD, you're able to apply for residency. With residency, once you get your residency, you're able to bring 1 container load of home goods and 2 vehicles into the country. Now, that could be a boat, it could be a helicopter, it could be a jet, or cars. The only catch with those is you can't sell them for 10 years. If you do, then you have to pay the taxes bringing them in. But that's a huge advantage to Americans and Canadians to bring in some assets and really make it home if they want to make that jump.
Good to know. Talk to me a little bit about loans. Are most of your buyers cash? What percent would you say are cash? What percent are getting a loan? And how does that work?
So, in the last 2 years, things have changed. Previous to that, it was all cash buy here. So everything was cash buy in Costa Rica. There really wasn't much lending. People that did lending, they would get an equity loan or a refi or second mortgage on their U.S. properties, and then bring that money to purchase. But now we do have access to loans. So there's several different ones depending if they're from U.S. or Canada. There's a company called Second Street. There's another one called Volo Loans. Then there's some other banks in Costa Rica that's doing lending. Typically, those lending rates are on a 30% down, and they do up to 30-year mortgages. The interest rates ranging between 8 and 9%, which is a little higher than the state side. So it really depends on the person. But we do have those abilities now, which is increasing a lot of our investors.
Okay, good. Yeah, and depending on what somebody's looking to do, if they're an investor and they Airbnb and they look at their cost, their annual cost for a mortgage, who knows? They might be profitable even with a rate of 8 or 9%. So that's very good. Thanks for sharing that with me. Talk to me about insuring properties. How do I mean, you hear all these horror stories of in Florida insuring houses and hurricanes. And talk to me about what do you guys deal with extreme weather-wise down in Costa Rica?
So in the area that our brokerage is in, we're in the North Pacific. So we're in an area called Guanacaste, which we have the international airport, Liberia International Airport, which is about 45 minutes to an hour to most locations where we're kind of selling properties. And in that area, we actually don't get too many crazy storms because most of the hurricanes and things come from the Caribbean side and over the mountains. They get knocked down. We get some rains. In our area, our rain season is really May and then September, October. The rest of the year, it's pretty dry. They call it a dry forest area. So weather-wise, it's not too crazy. We get earthquakes and things like that, but everything is built seismically. So all the engineering has to be done seismically. There's really been no destruction from earthquakes and things like that because of the way they build. So insurance is very easily attainable. The very big difference in Costa Rica compared to the States is the building is either concrete or steel. We don't use timber framing. So fires aren't really an issue. So a lot of the insurance companies, let's say you got a $2 million property, they might only insure your home up to $1 million because the way they look at it is it's not a complete destruction. It's not a complete rebuild. They're insuring what's going to be say there's smoke damage or things like this. And the insurance is very, very reasonable. I've got a client that's got a multi-million-dollar home, and he pays under $2,000 a year for insurance.
Okay,
so
that's good.
Those things are very reasonable here.
And talk about transportation. If you don't have a car, taxi, probably not Ubers, right? You got taxis.
There's Ubers now. There's taxis, and we have a lot of public transit as well. Rental cars in non-high season are relatively inexpensive. So there are public transport and ways to get around if you don't have your own vehicle.
I typically tell someone come in to rent a car.
Mm-hmm.
And that will be the most expensive part of your trip.
Okay. Currency
is the colone. So right now it's $1 to $1 to 447 colones. So the currency exchange is quite easy. But the other thing that I tell most people that are traveling is bring your own personal bank card. The exchange rate is going to be best there because restaurants and gas stations, they make up their own exchange rate. So you're better off, and you don't have to carry cash, right? So you bring your card and
perfect. That was going to be my other. Yeah, I like doing that when I travel. When we were in Italy, when I was in Mexico, I just feel like I'm going to be safer from a not being taken advantage of standpoint.
Yeah.
Well, this is really helpful. Internet's good down there. People are working remotely. All that.
Oh yeah, we've got a ton of digital nomads. Starlink is available, and actually, it's cheaper in Costa Rica for your monthly than it is in the States.
Oh wow!
So yeah, I think I pay $60 a month for my Starlink.
Awesome. Good. So thanks. This is very good information. Talk to me about cuisine. What's the food like?
So the typical cuisine is a lot of rice and beans. They've got a range. We're right on the ocean, so we have a ton of seafood. Um, a lot of growth in the restaurant area has brought more flavors to the area, which is great. So you have everything Indian food. We've got Chinese. You've got Japanese. You've got Argentine steakhouses.
There's so many expats from all over the world. We'll go to a Italian restaurant, and you'll be like, "This is the best Italian food I've ever had." It's two people from Rome who
Yeah.
immigrated to Costa Rica, and they're
You got me at the Brazilian steak here, so that's good. So that's good to hear. All right, so let's make a little transition here. So some really good information on Costa Rica, of course, with the internet and AI. People can do some further research on their own. Do you have a good website for resources and find out more about Costa Rica before we transition into real estate and how these agents might be able to make some referrals and earn some money?
Yeah, I mean, on our website, we've got a lot of information about Costa Rica for people that are wanting to dig in more. And there's a website called Tico Times. It kind of gives you the up-to-date news that's happening in Costa Rica, which that's pretty helpful as well.
All right, good.
CostaRicaGuide.com. It's funny. He's from Fort Collins. I met him in Fort Collins. He rode his bike around Costa Rica like 30 years ago and did a map. And it's the map that's sold in the airports. CostaRicaGuide.com. It's good for geography. It's an interesting. I would recommend anyone who's even interested to come on vacation. Come check it out. It is what's so great about that is it's people don't just fall in love with the beaches. They fall in love with the culture. They fall in love with the people of Costa Rica. They fall in love with the fact that you can go to an active volcano and a rainforest and a beach and a private island and in just a few hours. And so it's such an interesting lifestyle. And when we talk to high net worth clients, or we talk to people who come down. My wife was just working with a client who came down, and they were not well traveled, high net worth, but not well traveled. They just kind of stayed in the States, really in one neighborhood actually. And when they came, they were so blown away by how friendly it was. I mean, you can go. They grew up in California, so they could go back to California and buy a beach home, not for the price that they could buy in Costa Rica.
Sure.
But they fell in love with the pura vida lifestyle. Pura vida is a saying that we say in all Costa Ricans say. It's kind of like a catch-all. Like if you say good morning to somebody, they say pura vida. Of course, the pure life. It's gorgeous. And so, when someone's looking to take their money out of the States, and they combine the financial investment with the culture and the area, it becomes this thing where Ian sees this a lot. Someone will come down and buy a home. Ian's working with some clients right now that have 3 homes and they're building a mansion. It's crazy. And they just they love it so much. They just keep coming back and investing. And so it's not just a real estate move. It's kind of in your heart. I don't know any other way to say it.
That's interesting. So thank you for that insight. A couple things. Your guys' main website is Luxury Properties CR for Costa Rica, luxurypropertiescr.com. So if you want to find out a little bit more about their brokerage, you certainly can. But I want to share the next thing I want to talk a little bit about, because you guys have a really cool platform that you've built out, where if somebody's interested in partnering up with you guys, if you will, talk to me a little bit about that. And that website that I have right now is Costa Rica Luxury Referrals.com, Costa Rica Luxury Referrals.com. Talk to me a little bit about what that is, what I'm looking at, and what opportunities for people that say, hey, you know what, this sounds pretty interesting. I like what I'm hearing. I'd like to hear more, or I want to hear a little bit about partnering up with you guys.
Absolutely. I wanted to provide a resource to luxury agents in the United States, Canada, and Europe to have a trusted process. In my opinion, if you're working with high net worth individuals that trust you with their homes in the United States, Canada, Europe, they're going to come to you if they're thinking about spending 2, 3, 4 million in Central America, right? And I want you to be armed with the answers. I want you to also get paid, and have a trustworthy process all the way through. I'm not saying there are some amazing real estate professionals in Costa Rica. Great. But there's also some not so great. And
Absolutely.
so you want to, and there's not as much legal oversight as there is in the United States and Canada. So if you're going to trust your trusted relationships with someone who you've dealt with, maybe you have an NDA in this in Chicago because you're helping them sell a $16 million home. You want to know that you're working with a company that's going to make you look good, they're going to love and keep you informed every step of the way. I've done a lot of referrals, Mike, in my 25 years, and they don't always go great. I never know what's going on the other end. I don't, like, are you closing or are you not closing? Are you showing my client's property or are you not showing my client's property, right?
Yeah.
And we wanted a process that was streamlined, transparent, trustworthy. And that's what this is all about. And we want to build the most trusted Costa Rican partnership in the world.
And I appreciate this. This is really insightful. It looks amazing, by the way. It looks beautiful there. We've had so much rain in the Midwest, even though we're in the summer months. I'm like, man, I could go for that beach right there. I'm looking at, for those of you that are listening. Again, I'm on the website right now, Costa.
We have three that just got named top 100 beaches in the world. And
3 of the top 100.
Them is 10 minutes from where Ian and I live.
Wow. That's amazing. So yeah, I'm looking at the website, and the beach is Costa Rica Luxury Referrals.com. So check that out for sure. Anything else that I haven't asked that I should, gentlemen?
I think it's important to really identify some of the things that some other ancillary questions I would ask. How's the healthcare?
Oh yeah, there we go. Thank you. Great point. We got an older, nation. We got a lot more baby boomers.
Yep.
Talk to me about the healthcare. Great point. Thank you.
So healthcare is actually amazing. We've got a private hospital about 40 minutes from where we are. There's a private hospital in Liberia. There's a public hospital in Nicoya. Mm-hmm. And we've had friends who've been treated for broken bones. I've had friends treated for cancer. Most of the doctors that are doing specialties were trained outside of Costa Rica. They have a program where doctors and attorneys who are trained in the United States, Canada, or Europe, the country will pay for them as long as they say they're going to come back. Okay. Like our attorney that you'll see on our partnership program, Sergio, he's from NYU trained, and he's our Costa Rican attorney, our real estate attorney. So I think that from a healthcare standpoint, I had a friend whose son had an anaphylactic episode on a boat. They were on a catamaran doing a sunset, and he had a anaphylactic episode, and they ran him to the beach clinic right by our house, and he said it was as good as any emergency room he's been to in Denver. So wow. I think from a health standpoint, you're good. Now, that being said, trauma is not always close, so you have to balance some of that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Legal, our attorneys are either Canadian or U.S. Educated, and so that stuff is great. Ian, you've lived there. What's your experience?
Yeah, so another thing on the healthcare, which is interesting, when you become a resident, if your clients want to become residents, it's about a 9-month process to do so. It's about $1,700 for the attorneys to push the paperwork and make that happen. Once that happens, you're actually put into what's called a CAHA. So CAHA is the public insurance in public health care. So you're able to, on very inexpensive. For instance, me and my wife, there's many different ways of how you may get your residency, but we spend about $300 a month on the public health care. It's a requirement that you get that, but it all depends on what your wages are and how that all works out to what your actual payment may be. But you're able to use the public health care as well as private. You know, if you have an emergency, the other beautiful thing is the price point is incredible. All my family's in the medical world. For instance, if you need to go get a CT scan in the States, you're looking between $4,000 and $6,000. In Costa Rica, it's about $600. So you're able to get top quality care private at, you know, pennies on the dollar, literally.
Wow, that's impressive. Well, I know there's going to be a lot of questions that I didn't ask or we didn't get to, but for the sake of time, I want to be appreciative of your time as well, guys. We got two rock stars on here. We're talking Costa Rica real estate, and we talked a little bit about taxes. We talked a little bit about Airbnb. We talked a little bit about loans. We talked a little bit about a lot of other miscellaneous things today. I want to thank you guys, and I just want to reiterate, I'm going to put it on the screen for those that are watching here. This is the, oh, hold on, I got the wrong one there. This is the one I wanted to show. This is their website that I have on the screen right now, which is Costa Rica Luxury Referrals.com is the one I wanted to show you. But I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now, and I also want to share with you their main website, which is just luxury properties CR as far as Costa Rica .com. So make sure you check that out. Guys, as you sit here today, Eric, I connected you last week with the gentleman who's with Concierge Auctions, and you know they're auctioning off a property in Costa Rica. I'm auctioning off a property here in Chicago. So that tells me Costa Rica is a very desirable place, because I know Sotheby's Concierge Auctions doesn't attach their name to just any properties. So that's pretty impressive.
I saw some videos for this. It's pretty amazing. I think Ian and I are going to go down there and check it out in July. It's nuts. It's like a 39 bedroom estate in Escazú, and it's crazy. Guys, in closing, if you go to our referral site, and just sign up on the referral site, all that is, we want to stay in touch. We're going to do a monthly webinar. We're going to do a monthly newsletter. We're going to send out the best deal of the month. We're going to send out some new listings. And we're also going to send out marketing assets. I have a buddy who's a broker in Malibu, and wants to get this hotel out to his clientele base. So we're going to make the marketing for him. He's going to get the hotel out to his clientele base. So you also get some marketing assets as part of that. So we just want to create a great community here. Mike, I can't thank you enough. So thank you for your time and your work. And when you coming?
Hey, listen, I think September would look really good on me. Maybe August, but probably September, I'm thinking.
All right. We're ready for it. We'll be ready for you.
Yeah, I can't come on a Friday, though, because both my boys play Friday night lights. Fridays are off limit. I have to fly back Friday morning.
You might want to come in August then, buddy.
All right. Well, then August it is.
All right.
All right, guys. Hey, listen, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. So Costa Rica, all things Costa Rica, guys. I got the URL on the screen right now, Costa Rica luxuryreferrals.com. Check it out. These guys are great. It's a lot of great resources they share, a lot of great insights. Again, my name is Michael LaFido. I hope this has been insightful. I'm trying to bring value to our audience in a way that is different, but more importantly, helps differentiate yourself. Again, in the meantime, if you guys have any questions, Michael@marketingluxurygroup.com. Michael@marketingluxurygroup.com is my info. And we look forward to catching up. Take care, everybody.